Everyone, myself Praveen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll try to show you the routing concept in .NET Core Web API, like what is the routing, types of routing, and why it is required. Okay, please watch video till the end. So no further ado, let's get started. What is routing? So routing is something that we can say it as it's a roadmap. So using that roadmap, we'll go to a specific destination. So similarly in .NET Core Web API, we will use a route so that we'll go to a specific a controller action method. In this diagram, here the client and server is there. Client could be anything, whether you are getting a request from web browser, Postman, Fiddler, anything to your web applications. That web application it consisting of different or multiple controller action method. Consider that you will get a HTTP request to your web application. First it will go to your uh, processing pipeline. We call it as an middleware. So suppose if you go here, whatever the request will come, it will come to this part, HTTP request pipeline. If it is fine, if everything is working fine here, then the respective controller action method, it will navigate to the respect to whatever the control action method you requested, it will hit here. If it is failed in this middleware, then the request will not reach to your specific controller action method. So once if it is successful, then if respect to control action is called, then it will process this method. Then the once it is processed, then it will respond back. Here you can see returning OK of employee data. It means what? It is responding back the response whatever the request you received earlier. You need to understand firstly like how your application come to know that which request will be mapped to which controller action method, how it will consider. For that what we'll do is the mapping between whatever the requested URL you have to the respective resources. This is we call it as a resources. If it is matched, that concept we call it as an routing. The routing, first what you have to do is in the program.cs we have to ask app dot use routing. You have to add this. What this use routing it will do? It will add your route matching to the your middleware pipeline. Whatever the URL you will get, that will allow you to add or map to the your middleware pipeline. So what will happen is next you are routing, but you are matching to a specific endpoints, right? For that here you have to add, there is a function kind of thing, app use endpoints we have to use. Here you can see instead of map you have to map a route, controller route. So whatever the controller you have to map with your requested URL. For that you have to add here. Here we are using conventional based, so that so you have to specific name you have to use. Name could be you can give anything. Like I'll give just default. Then you have to use a pattern. Pattern here, what is the pattern here? This is like you are giving a pattern matching. Like if you use controller, then the next should be action. This is a fixed path or pattern we are giving, so that if it is matched with this, then only a matched respective controller action method will call. It will give as an ID. Okay, ID is on optional. Okay, that's it. use points, use endpoints of endpoints dot map area, not map area, map controller root. The name I given, pattern I given, controller slash action. Add a new controller and I'll show you how the conventional based routing will work. Let's add one controller. Click on add. So I'll keep it as home only. Let's add. You can see here we need this. I'll try to add get method, http get verb. Okay. So here instead of action, what I'll try to return some string array. Okay, high enumerable list of string I will display. Okay, either you can give index or I'll give specific name like get all. Okay, what it will return? It will return new array. Okay, you can give a string data1, data2. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, now what will pass is we'll call home controller slash that action method is get all. Enter this, the data1 data is displaying. Suppose if you go to program, if you not use this, let's comment. Okay, then build it. Okay, let's run. Let's see whether it will work or it will give error. Get all. Let's run. So here this localhost page can't be found. So it's not able to find this home controller because we are not allowing to map your requested URL with your specific controller action. For that you have to use this. Okay. In the controller also, if you want to, now it is getting all the data. If you want to display specific ID wise also, because that is optional one, let's use same thing but change. I'm just returning string only. Okay, now I'll return based on ID, like int ID I'll pass with item. So I'll just return only one data here. Okay, this is data 3, I'll keep it. Okay, now let's run this. Use this. Okay, now it is opening. Now what I'll do, home controller slash get item. This is what data 3 is displaying. Okay, get item of ID. If I pass like this also, like for example, get item of slash, let's say try 1. This is all. This is also should give based on ID home get item of 1. So based on ID, if you want to give, then you have to give the another concept attribute routing will use. Now we will see the attribute routing. So attribute routing is mainly thing is nothing but it we can directly add your routes directly to your controller action method. If it is match, the requested URL is matched with that attribute root attribute, then that specific controller action method will execute. So for that, let's try to add one more controller. Add. So I will add. Okay. attribute controller. Let's add this. Okay, I'll use same method and I'll show you how the attribute routing will work. Let's say I'll keep the same thing. So here we have to add API controller. Then in the get method, what we have to add is the root of, okay, root of the name you have to give. For example, I'll give home controller name slash API slash, I'll give like get data something, I'll give get data. Okay, so now I'll add another same for single ID like this. So I have to add API here. So here what I'll do is I'll get item slash that ID, they will pass ID. Okay, let's run this. You can see here that attribute controller is added to your API. Then we have a API get data and get item with based on ID. If you go here, you can try out, click on execute. You can see the two data string data variable it's displaying. Okay, let's go to another ID based on ID. Try out, I'll pass 1 2 3, execute data 3. This will execute. So if it is matching with your root, whatever you pass, if it is match, then the respective action method will call. Here in the use endpoints, in the pattern, you can use controller action in generic, or we can use it like a specific, like home. The action method should be get all. This is also it will work. Okay, specific home action method also we can write, and also we can use multiple endpoints. Also we can use like this. We can use, there is another controller called admin with get admin. Like this we can use multiple endpoints. And also we can use, for example, can use a specific constant before the controller. For example, if you have a URL and before that constant should be admin. Okay, let's run this and we'll see. Let's home get all. Let's run this all. Okay, it will not display because it's not matching this pattern. So if you use before this admin slash, then you can see data 1 and data 2 of this, it will match. I'll explain how the root parameters and query string we are using in the attribute routing. So for that, let's create one more controller. I'll create employees controller. So here I'll just display string get employee by ID. Okay, and ID in the HTTP. This is HTTP get, and we'll use root employees slash, they will pass ID. This is a single parameter they will pass as ID. I'm just returning employee ID is whatever the ID I'm get, I'll display here. Okay, so employees, I'll pass ID. For example, let's run this. I'll pass employees slash, I'll pass 10, should display 10. So you are passing 10. This is a ID. It's a single parameter. If you pass the same parameter, it will use. Then I am displaying this. Can also accept, or they can also pass a multiple parameter also. For example, create another method. Here I'll get employee employee by gender and city. So here I'll pass employees genders slash, here they have to pass gender, then city slash city ID, they can pass city ID. Okay, here gender is a string, so I'll pass same thing. Then city ID, integer int city ID. So employee gender city. Okay, they can pass multiple parameters. Let's run this. Employees, okay, then gender slash the value you have to pass, like male, this is a value. Then we have a city slash city value, like for example 12. You can see the gender is male, then city is 12. You can pass multiple also, we can pass single also. Implement a query string. Query string is nothing but it's a key value pair that you have to pass as a part of your request. If it is match, then it will display the matching data. For example, let's implement one function for that. Search, I'll pass department, okay. Let's employee department is, let's try this. We search employees, employee slash search department, department equal to IT, and it should display IT. Let's close this. You can pass multiple parameter query string. String, okay, let's run this. Employees department equal to IT. To pass a multiple query string or more than one query string, you have to pass ampersand, then gender male. We enter this, you can see department is IT and gender is male. The .NET Core you can assign or you can use a multiple URS to a single action method also. For example, we'll create a one method. So let's use the employees all method. Yep. Employee data, nothing to display simple message employee data. So this is a one endpoint. Suppose you consider there is one more endpoint, all employees. Different endpoints with the same action method. Okay, there is one more. If you consider one more, employees slash get all. If all these matching should display this employee data. Let's run this. Let's run this. If you call this employees all, it should display employee data. And also we have a same endpoint of all employees. All employees. Employees slash all employees. Not this one. And also it is also display all employees slash get all. That is also display. So three endpoints will display same data. Now consider here we have a same URL like employee slash all with a two different action method. Then what will happen? So what I'll do is now I'll keep it here only. I'll change it employee data. Then I'll copy this. I'll use a different action method. Okay. Endpoint is same. If you over on this, what is saying is here employees slash all conflict with another route actions. So it results in ambiguous match error. So ambiguous match error, it means that so your request is matched with multiple endpoints. So application, what will happen is you have two resources with the same URL. Then what will happen is the application gets confused that who will handle this request. So for that, normally your endpoint should be the unique. So it will not allow here. We will see the root attributing with root constraints. So normally you see root constraint is nothing but it will provide a set of rules to your requested parameter so that it is essential for your API logic and security. Let's see. For example, here you can see root employee ID their pass with integer value. Suppose here by passing colon, you can pass different constraint. You can see there are different constraints that are available in the .NET Core like alpha, bool, double float, min, max, maximum length. Let's see. I pass int. So this ID should accept only integer parameter. That's what the meaning. Okay, let's run this. So here if I pass 1 2 3, then it will work. Let's try with string. It will not allow because it expecting integer value. Okay, there are different constraints. For example, there is one more integer. We can use multiple like this integer. I'll use min of 5. So the minimum length should be 5. Okay, let's close this and run. Okay, if I enter 1, if you execute it, say will error, it will not accept. It should be 4, it will not, it should be more than 5. That minimum length should be 5. Similarly, we can have max. It will not allow because minimum is 5 year. If I pass 1, it will execute. So maximum number if you can pass is 5. That is a maximum. You can pass min 5 colon max of 5, like this also we can pass. There is another options, you can use minimum length, maximum length. There is also called range. You can pass, like for example here there will be a range. So comma 6. Let's try this. Pass 120, it will not allow because that range should be 5. Enter, it will allow. Let's say 6, it will allow. 7 will try, it will not allow because that is a minimum of 5 length, maximum of 6. Okay, this is for range. Now we'll see alpha. Alpha will accept only string, no integer. Let's see, let's run this. So if I pass 1 2 3, it will not allow. Only string will allow. Praveen to display Praveen. So if I pass string and digit, it will not allow. Only string will allow. For that, leaves alpha. Suppose in alpha, if you want to limit minimum length of 5 characters only, minimum length of 5 characters, so it will allow 5 characters only minimum length. Let's path PRA will not allow. It should be minimum length of 5 character, then it will allow. Similarly, we can use max length. Max length of 5. We should stop this. Max length of 5. If you run this, if you come here, if I pass PRA, it will execute. 4 character 5 till 5. If I pass one more, it will not allow. There is one more constant, we can directly use length, exact length of 5. So it will allow only 5 characters. Let's run. Let's see. If you go to employee, if I pass 4 character, it will not allow. It will also not allow because it is 6. Now it will not allow. Only 5 character, 3 and 5. Only 5 character it will allow. If you make less, it will not allow. If you make more character also, it will not allow. So length of 5 means exactly 5 characters. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more content. See you soon on next video. Thank you.